to our football show. I'm Richie. Joining me as always, Chance, Matt, and Elgin. Guys, the NFL draft is a week away from today, and in the spirit of draft season, we're going to go ahead and go through like a mock draft, everyone through the table. Of course, we have the Dolphins fan, Bills fan, Jets fan, Patriots fan. You guys have an interesting pick at 3. It's going to be an interesting draft. You guys have some decisions to make trading-wise. The Jets are the Jets. We'll see how that pans out. So the first pick goes to the Chicago Bears. I believe that they're going to go ahead and take Caleb Williams. I think it's the most obvious pick you can make in any draft. I'm not even going to spend time discussing it.
Don't be shocked.
Don't be shocked if it's
with
McCarthy.
pick 2, I mean, this could go vice versa, but I have Jaden Daniels going at pick 2 for the Washington Commanders.
I think that makes Washington automatic losers of this draft. When you're looking at a guy like Drake May who's on the board, he's way more athletically gifted. He has a much deeper arm, just way less flaws than a guy like Daniels. They're really missing out and giving the Patriots the next Tom Brady. Unfortunately, as a Jets fan, I'm going to need to watch my team suffer for the next 20 years when the Patriots pick Drake May 3rd overall. My misery is not going to end because next week is going to be rough.
I agree with you, man. Jets are going to suck forever. Now, for the Arizona Cardinals, I haven't taken Marvin Harrison. I actually don't see them trading out of this pick. The Cardinals need offensive talent. They just traded away Ronald Moore, one of their better receivers. They got rid of Marquise Brown. They need a receiver. I think Marvin Harrison, you can't just pass up on a prospect like that. You have to take that guy. And plus Marvin Harrison, he's one of the great guys in the draft, and I just believe that Arizona's going to get this guy.
Quick question. Do you think he's the best player in this draft?
I believe he's the best player in the draft.
Okay.
I agree with that one. So at 5, our mock draft is going to be without trades. So pick 5 are the LA Chargers. I believe they're going to go hook tackle here and take Joe Alt. There are some.
No receiver.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they have a bunch of positional, help that they need, but without trades, I think they would stick at 5. Good.
Well, I mean, I had vice versa. I would have had Joe Alt going to the Giants because they do need a little bit of help on that offensive line, as you can see. But I guess I'll say Rome Odunze. We'll go with him.
Giants do need receiver help.
So now the Tennessee Titans are on the clock here at pick 7, and that offensive line is one of the worst in the league. So with the Chargers picking Alt at 5, that really shakes things up for them. They don't really have a legitimate guy to go with here. Now, if that were to happen, I do think Tennessee would trade down. But considering that we're not doing trades in this mock, I can see the Tennessee Titans looking for another weapon and taking the kid from LSU, who I think was robbed of the Biletnikoff, Malik Neighbors. Now, the Tennessee Titans, they already have D-Hop, but D-Hop is old. He's on an expiring contract. He doesn't create that much separation anymore. Traylon Burks has been a bust for them so far. Calvin Ridley was a pretty big signing for them. They paid a lot of money for him.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley is good. But I think when it comes to a guy like Malik Neighbors, who can be your legitimate day one, number 1 guy, I think that's the guy that you need to go with, especially if you go into panic mode if the Chargers pick Alt at 5.
I completely agree. Yeah, honestly, but in my mock draft, I do have them taking Joe Alt. They really need tackle help, but yeah, I believe so as well. But for pick 8 for the Falcons, I think this will actually. I think this is one of my more. I'm more like 90% sure this will happen. I think the Falcons take Dallas Turner. So they're pretty much set on offense as of now. They got their quarterback, they got their receivers. This team could be very deadly in playoffs if they make it, of course. But I genuinely do believe they take Dallas Turner. They need some pressure. They need to get that defense bolster up. They can't, because Kirk Cousins is coming off an Achilles tear. I don't know. He might not be ready to go. You never know. But I generally believe they will take Dallas Turner to create some defensive pressure for them. Maybe create some turnovers, get that ball back in Kirk Cousins' hands.
Absolutely. I think that's the pick that I had there for Atlanta, taking Dallas Turner. I think he's one of the best, edge rushers in this draft. Has a really good potential, and I think Atlanta would definitely benefit from that. So that would leave the Bears at 9. So these drafts are kind of getting shook up all over the place. I do think with the young quarterback, they do have a good receiver room. I think they got to protect their quarterback as best as they can. I have them taking Olu Fashanu here.
Okay. See, this is where I could see a trade scenario because they only have 4 picks in this draft, and I think that would be a big, major upgrade if they got more picks. And because they have a very good roster, but they don't have depth. And they have it's not deep depth.
Absolutely.
And with the Jets, I haven't taken Brock Bowers because I feel like if you get that, you're going to have Aaron Rodgers, a good receiving core, and then you get that good tight end who plays like a receiver. I don't see why you wouldn't.
So now we got the Vikings at number 11. With the first pick that I had, I picked Drake May at number 3 for the Patriots, a third quarterback off the board. So let me take the fourth quarterback off the board, J.J. McCarthy. I mean, Kirk Cousins left for Atlanta. Josh Dobbs left for San Francisco. So now they're left because they signed Sam Darnold, and they still have Jaron Hall. I'm not comfortable with that quarterback room. And when you have Justin Jefferson, who has the potential to be one of the all-time greats, he has one of the best starts to a career from any receiver that we've seen in NFL history, I don't think you could trust Sam Darnold, who sees ghosts, as your franchise guy. I think you need to put J.J. McCarthy there. Trust me, I know Sam Darnold. I'm a Jets fan. I watched that guy for 3 seasons. He's no good. I'm telling you. J.J. McCarthy is going to be the franchise quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings.
And speaking of, and the Broncos, since there's no trades in this, I do think the Broncos are going to take a quarterback right after. I do believe they're going to take Michael Penix Jr.
What?
The Broncos got rid of Russell Wilson. They need a quarterback desperately now. I know they have other holes, but they need a quarterback. I believe they take Michael Penix. Honestly, they're putting Michael Penix in probably one of the worst situations in football as of right now. So, I just believe that without trades, I think they take Michael Penix right here.
I would agree with you, but if you look at the Chicago Bears as a reference, they got completely wiped out. They drafted a quarterback with their top pick, and it didn't pan out because their team wasn't successful around them. And I feel like with knowing that, they could get pieces where next year they draft a good quarterback, whoever he may be, and then they draft a piece that's much needed right now.
Yeah, I know they got other holes, but I just don't think you've got to take a quarterback. Like, next year's quarterback class is just not great.
Yeah, no, next year's quarterback class is really weak. It's like Drew Awar.
I didn't see who it was.
Yeah, no, it's not that good.
All right.
So up next, that would leave the Raiders at pick 13, correct? So I was on the fence about them taking Penix here. Now, of course, he's not going to be on the board. So when you take a look at this Raiders team, they're somewhat there. They're not really competing level yet.
Defensive line, though.
That defensive line is nasty. You could add to it, but I think that's one of your positions that you could stay away from because it's really solid. I think, they still have some quarterback struggles. I don't think there's any quarterbacks still left in this first round. What was that?
They have Gardner Minshew right now.
Oh, they do have Gardner Minshew. I think with the quarterback room they have, the quarterbacks available aren't worth taking one. First round, I think they could, throw onto that O-line and help protect whoever they have back there. I know Troy Fautanu will be there from Washington. I might have just butchered his name, but I think that would be a good pick for them.
Saints are
Yeah,
14.
I know. Saints are 14, and I also have the Saints taking offense tackle in my draft. And I don't know how to pronounce this at the top of my head. Yeah, you got it.
Talise Fuega out of Oregon State.
That's who I would have too. But yeah, I feel like they need offensive help considering, their past season. They didn't even have a run game, and that was their specialty, quote unquote. So.
Now, the Colts right here are arguably going to get the steal of the draft. Now, I had them picking Terrion Arnold out of Alabama because I thought Kenyon Mitchell was already going to be off the board. Now, the Colts, they have a good secondary already with guys like Kenny Moore, but Kenyon Mitchell is a freak of nature. This guy has one of the biggest frames out of anybody in the draft amongst any DBs, corners or safeties. I don't know if you guys watch the Combine, but Kenyon Mitchell has an insane frame. He ranked at the top of all DBs in terms of athleticism. I think this is a no-brainer right here. He just fell right into their lap.
Colts are going to be dangerous. All right. I believe that the Seattle Seahawks, they lost a couple defensive players. They lost Brooks. They lost Wagner. I had them originally taking a linebacker, but looking back at it, there wasn't many significantly great linebackers to go in the top 20. So I had them taking edge here, because they were actually not even top. They weren't even top 20 in pressures. So I believe they're going to work on that edge, and I have them taking. I'm gonna butcher this from UCLA. Latinu Latata.
There was. Not going to say much. It's a hard name to pronounce. There are no N's or D's in that at all.
It's pronounced Leatu Latu, not Latata.
Not a bad pick
He
there.
didn't take his nap, guys.
I could definitely see Seattle going edge there. That guy, Leonard, as you pronounce, he reminds me a lot of Jalen Phillips for the Dolphins. I think that's a solid comparison. I think he would provide, a lot of instant success to that Seattle D-line. So that's going to leave pick number 17 to Jacksonville. You had Kenyon Mitchell to Indianapolis, correct? I could see Jacksonville going DB here, and I think if Terrion Arnold is going to be there, I could see them making that pick.
I think all of us, I have the Bengals pick 17 or 18, sorry. And I think with that, we all know what they need. It isn't any no-brainer. They have pieces, but they need offense tackle. My fault. And I think I forgot the names that were off the board on the top of my head.
Alt, Fawaga, Olu, and
Fautano.
And Fatano.
I'm going to go look real quick.
I mean, Amarius Mims and J.C. Latham are there.
J.C. Latham is who I'd probably say they get with that pick.
So the Steelers now.
That's next to the Rams.
Yeah. Now we got the Rams right here, and I'm gonna be honest. Again, kind of a corner falling right into their laps right here. Arguably, this is the best corner in the entire draft, Cooper DeJean. Now you can make all the jokes that you want about Cooper DeJean, but this guy's a good athlete. And I'm not saying that to try to be funny.
He's a great athlete.
He is an exceptional athlete. Took snaps at linebacker last year, safety, corner. He could do whatever he wants. He is one of the best athletes in this draft. I'm going to go with the second best Iowa athlete this year behind Caitlin Clark, Cooper DeJean.
Well, now the Steelers are next, and the Steelers are in a very interesting spot with their quarterback room. Like, they have Justin Fields and Russell Wilson now, which I think that was a great stealing Justin Fields from the Bears. I believe they take tackle here. I think they try, protect, because the offensive line was not great. They lost a piece, I have them taking J.C. Latham. But who's our remaining tackles on the board?
Amarius Mims is still there.
I have them taking Amarius Mims. They need tackle. I believe they need to get that offensive line anchored down. They lost quite some pieces. Protect Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson. I do think Russell Wilson is at the low ends of his career right now. But,
That's fair.
He's not. He's definitely not. Some average Joe. I think if you give Russell Wilson a line, he can definitely make something happen.
I could see Russell Wilson producing. I think tackle is the best position there. So now with the Dolphins at 21, I was going to have them go either Amarius Mims or J.C. Latham. Now with none of those guys on the clock, the Dolphins, I saw that they brought in a couple visits. A name that I really like is Tyler Guyton. He's an offensive tackle, Oklahoma. I think that would be perfect. You could protect Tua just a little bit, give him some more time. I think a lot of the issues with the Dolphins stem much more than the O-line, but one of the biggest losses they had this year was on that guard position. So just switch around, help fix the O-line, and I think that they should be solid. There's still some, big keys they need to address.
Exactly.
With the Eagles coming next, I feel like there's two corners. They're not top two corners, but they're the next two. I feel like it's either Wiggins or McKinstry, and I think Wiggins is just a tad bit better than McKinstry. It could go vice versa, but I have the Eagles drafting Wiggins. Sorry.
Gotcha.
I know the last two times I said steal the draft. All right, but hear me out. I think there's a guy who this is kind of our bad. I think we let him slip. I think we forgot about him. Jared Versay is still on the board.
Oh, wow, he is.
Minnesota just lost Danielle Hunter. This is a match made in heaven.
Absolutely.
They're the same archetype. Both of them are terrific pass rushers. They can utilize, their quick feet. They both have moves, counter moves, and Jared Versay is obviously younger than Danielle Hunter. Yeah. I mean, this is a no-brainer right here. Yes, it's our bad because I think we all kind of forgot about Jared Versay. We kind of just crossed him off for whatever reason. But if he's to fall to 23, Minnesota, take him.
Exactly. And then now we have the Cowboys, the team that set the claim that they were all in this offseason. They have done quite literally nothing. I have them taking, replacing Tyron Smith. I have them taking tackle with Graham Barton. Listen, when I did my mock draft, I used up all the tackles. I think they're going to reach for a tackle. I really think the Cowboys are very desperate for some tackle. Jerry Jones is very old.
You know Graham Burton plays the interior line, right?
He plays tackle.
He plays the interior.
On
at
mock
Duke.
draft, it says he played tackle.
Have you watched Graham Burton?
I do not.
He's a left guard.
I swear, they might have mock draft put him as a tackle. Well, guess what? The Cowboys need an offensive line anyway, so they can move around some things, all right?
All right.
Okay. Don't give me that look.
You're really screwing over Dallas fans for like the next 10 years. You know
I'm
that,
glad
right?
I'm screwing them over.
Okay.
So I have them taking some form of offensive line here. I think they need offensive line. I think they're pretty good on both sides of the ball, I guess. I mean, they just can't get over the hill, but
And this is why he's a Patriots fan.
Go quiet down there over there. So yeah, I believe they're taking some form of offensive line. For me, it's Graham Barton.
I got you. So the Packers are picking at 25. The Packers are a good team right now.
Very young, too.
Very young. I really do like their wide receiver room. I was questioning about adding to it, but I think a safe pick here. This one I struggled with because I think this would be a position they would trade out if I was in Green Bay's position, picking at 25. But I have them going interior O-line here, taking Jackson Powers-Johnson.
I agree. I had the same thing at pick 25. 26. What edge players are still available? Does
Chop
anyone know?
Robinson's still there.
So I think with that, I think no matter what Buccaneers fans would like, that's a pretty good pick in my opinion. I think you go Robinson no matter what here. That's my opinion. But yeah.
Now the Cardinals are on the clock at pick 27. Now already having Marvin Harrison Jr. kind of addressing the slight need at a pass catcher's position because before the draft you have Trey McBride. Other than that, you have Michael Wilson. I don't think Michael Wilson is a very good wide receiver. And other than that, you have Zach Pascal. I don't think he's a very good wide receiver. So with that, I would say the Cardinals right here go Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU.
I like that pick.
Brian Thomas led college football in touchdown receptions last year.
Sorry, didn't you have the Cardinals drafted Marvin Harrison as well?
Yeah, yes, I did, but my point is that it's not enough.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Yep. Yeah, no, I just don't think Michael Wilson is a reliable enough wide receiver, too. I say they go 2 receivers in the first round. Why not? Get Kyler Murray weapons. Kyler Murray's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He has a cannon for an arm. So what's better than one really good wide receiver in the draft? Get 2.
Absolutely.
All right.
I love that pick a lot. I really do. I think that'll turn
What
Arizona.
me saying is because I'm a Bills fan, or you?
No, give me the mic.
No, you have a
I have a mic, yeah. All right, so the Bills are currently in a kind of, they've closed their Super Bowl window as of right now.
Apparently always do every year, huh?
Yeah, so I have them taking a receiver here, and I have them taking Texas receiver, not Worthy, actually. I have them taking Mitchell here.
I like that.
I have them taking Mitchell here. I was thinking about them taking Worthy, but I think I think Mitchell's just a slightly better prospect. So I believe they're going to take Mitchell here out of Texas. And, they have currently as Curtis Samuel at wide receiver one.
But yeah.
Wide receiver 1, Curtis Samuel. Ladies and gentlemen, there you are.
I mean,
so they need a receiver. Bad.
I agree with you. My original pick was Brian Thomas if the Cardinals don't, because I feel like the Cardinals have spots open, but I'd say Brian Thomas. If not, I would say Mitchell as well. And look, like I said, we have so many draft picks. I wouldn't be surprised if we traded this draft pick away for a player, receiver, or anything like that. That's just my.
I just believe, I think they're going to take a Texas receiver and, get this wide receiver room back in action, but that's not going to do everything for them. So
I got you. All right, so we have 4 picks left. We're running a little short on time, so I think we're going to have to speed through these 4 picks. Right here, the Detroit Lions are on the clock. I think they're going to go, this is a weird position they're in. I think they're going to go interior D-line help. They're taking Byron Murphy here.
I like that pick.
Is that an affirmation? Yeah?
I like that pick. I like that.
With pick 30, the Ravens are up, and this is where I could see them drafting another receiver. As you know, nobody knows about Zay Flowers if he's gonna. I think he's gonna play, but all alleged stuff is happening. I think they get a nice receiver to complement that, and I'm thinking Worthy or Keon Coleman.
Which one of them are you picking?
I'll say Coleman.
Okay, all right. I just want to know who's on the board because now the San Francisco 49ers are on the clock, and I think an underrated need for them right now is wide receiver with Ayuk, wanting out. I think they go with Lad McConkey right here. Great route runner.
That's a really
That could be one of the shockers of the draft. I don't think it's the biggest shocker. Like it's not like a Cole Strange type pick, but it's not like a Clelin Ferrell, if you know what I mean. It's like right in between.
Exactly. So now for pick 32, the Chiefs. I have the Chiefs since Brian Thomas is off the board. I hadn't taken Brian Thomas. I had Brian Thomas falling pretty far. I have the Chiefs taking Xavier Worthy right now. I believe most people have them taking Xavier Worthy right now. They need receiver help bad. They pretty much lost Rashid Rice at this point. So
I forgot about that.
They don't have much, right? They have Travis Kelce and Mahomes. That's about it, and Isaiah Pacheco.
Well, they did get Hollywood Brown this year. They signed
they did sign Hollywood Brown, so there is something. There is some light. So I believe they take Xavier Worthy, get that Tyreek Hill potential replacement. So I believe they take Xavier Worthy, and I think that wraps up our NFL draft.
I think a Tyreek Hill replacement.
Yeah, I don't know how
I don't think Tyreek Hill's very replaceable, but I know what you're trying to say.
But yeah.
What is with these AFC West wide receivers and starting to speed when they start to, get that potential?
Yeah, Rashid Rice is like really fast.
I know.
What was he going like 123?
Something like that. I mean, Henry Ruggs is the one with the killer speed, though.
You make that much money, like why goof off? I just don't.
I don't get it either. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. The NFL draft is gonna be on Thursday. We're gonna be at UCF. We're gonna try and get some footage for you guys from there. For a special little show for the NFL draft. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's see how our mock draft panned out, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.